So let me get this straight. In a place where your breath freezes midair, diesel fuel turns to jelly, and tires shatter like glass, people still drive for a living. Welcome to Alaska, where truckers face winters so brutal they make Canadian highways look like Sunday brunch. This isn't ice road truckers, this is real life. And for the drivers up north, survival isn't optional, it's a ritual, and every mile could be your last. It starts before the engine even turns. Out here, winter doesn't arrive, it invades. Sub-zero temperatures slam through the mountains and crawl into every mechanical part of your rig. At minus 50 degrees Celsius, everything tries to kill you. The cold, the roads, and sometimes your own truck. So Alaskan truckers prep like soldiers going to war. Batteries are wrapped in thermal blankets. Block heaters stay plugged in for hours. Fuel tanks get dosed with anti-gel like it's a lifeline. One mistake, one shortcut, and your diesel turns to sludge before sunrise. You don't just start your truck in the morning, you babysit it through the night. Some drivers leave their engines idling for days, because once they go cold, they might never come back. It's not about wasting fuel, it's about staying alive. And trust me, no one's worried about emissions when you're 300 miles from hell, on a mountain pass covered in black ice, with no cell signal and the wind howling like a banshee. Driving in these temperatures is a mental war. The cab might be warm, but every second outside is a countdown. Your fingers go numb in minutes. Your breath fogs up your visor, gloves stiffen, doors freeze shut. Even opening the hood can feel like wrestling with steel armor. And if you need to chain up your tires in the middle of a snowstorm, good luck. You've got 20 frozen pounds of iron and ice, and bare hands aren't an option. You'd better be fast, and you'd better not mess it up, because hypothermia doesn't give second chances. The roads, they're not roads, they're frozen battlefields. Imagine threading a 70,000-pound rig across a 2-lane ribbon of ice that snakes through avalanche zones, frozen rivers, and unlit switchbacks with no guardrails. And that's on a good day. Add blowing snow, blinding whiteouts, and moose the size of sedans crossing your path, and it becomes a different kind of driving. Out here, momentum is survival. You slow down too much on a hill, you're stuck. You stop on ice, you might never move again. Every curve is a chess game with physics. And then there's the rigs themselves. These aren't your average long-haul semis. Alaskan trucks are monsters built for punishment. Massive snow flaps, reinforced bumpers, double fuel filters, auxiliary heaters just to keep the cabin from turning into a freezer. You'll see some trucks running with makeshift windshields or insulated cowls that look like they were built in a bunker. Because when your rig becomes your lifeline, it better be ready to bleed for you. But even the toughest truck can't do it alone. It takes a certain breed of driver to face this every day. These aren't Instagram truckers, no Bluetooth headsets and leather seats here. Just frostbitten veterans with steel in their veins. People who can rebuild an air brake line in minus 40 with a wrench, a headlamp, and a prayer. People who know every crack in the ice, every gust on the pass, every sound their engine makes when it's about to give up. It's not just skill, and it's instinct. You don't survive in Alaska by luck. You survive by routine, repetition, and respect. Respect for the road, respect for the cold, and especially respect for the old-timers who did this before GPS, before traction control, before CB radios. Back then, if you broke down, you waited, sometimes hours, sometimes days. Some didn't make it. That history still echoes through the industry, passed down in stories, in scars, in quiet nods over coffee at the last truck stop before the next frozen stretch. But the job still needs doing. Supplies still need delivering. Fuel, food, medicine. It doesn't matter how cold it gets. Those loads have to move. That's why they keep going. Through the dark, through the snow, through the kind of silence that only exists at 40 below when the air itself feels brittle and the stars look like ice chips in the sky. And you know what's wild? They don't complain. Not really. They might curse the cold, spit into the wind, and kick the ice off their boots. But they don't whine, because to them, this isn't hell. It's home. A brutal, frozen, majestic kind of home. One that demands everything and gives nothing for free. But for those who earn it, mile by mile, gear by gear, there's something pure out here. Something real. There's no app that can teach you how to survive a whiteout. No tutorial for losing traction on a mountain pass with 2 loaded trailers behind you. That kind of experience only comes from messing up and surviving it. Most Alaskan truckers have stories they'll never tell, not because they're not proud, but because talking about it means reliving it. The near misses, the nights spent alone in a dead rig, the sound of the wind howling like something alive. That stuff sticks to your bones. Some carry survival kits that look like they were packed for the apocalypse. Thermal blankets, freeze-dried food, signal flares. You'd be amazed how many of them still carry analog maps, because when the GPS dies, and it will, you better know where you are. Others take it a step further. Extra diesel tanks, satellite phones, even rifles for the wildlife. It's not paranoia, it's preparedness. Because in the bush, you don't call for help. You are the help. One of the wildest things about winter trucking in Alaska isn't the terrain, it's the silence. No honking horns, no traffic jams, just the rhythmic hum of the engine, the crunch of tire chains on snow, and the endless white stretching in every direction. Some call it peaceful, others call it eerie, but every driver knows one thing: silence can mean danger. If your truck stops making noise, if you don't hear the familiar rumble under your feet, something's wrong. You learn to listen, really listen. You pick up on the tiniest change in tone, a whistle that wasn't there yesterday, a groan from the rear axle, the sluggish sound of a fuel pump trying to pull liquid from a tank that's starting to gel. These trucks talk, and in Alaska, you'd better speak the language. Maintenance isn't a checklist, it's a religion. Some drivers pull into truck yards after a brutal haul and spend hours in sub-zero temp crawling under their rig just to make sure nothing cracked or froze or came loose. They don't wait for things to break, they assume everything is about to break, and that's why so many of these rigs stay alive longer than they should, because their drivers treat them like living things. Then there's the weather. In the lower 48, bad weather is a delay. In Alaska, it's a threat. Blizzards roll in with zero warning. One second you're cruising under clear skies, the next you can't see the end of your hood. It's why drivers slow to a crawl without shame. Out here, speed kills, and overconfidence gets you killed faster. There's no shame in parking it for the night if visibility drops to nothing. Pride doesn't keep you warm. Patience does. And don't even get started on the darkness. In deep winter, the sun barely creeps over the horizon for a few hours before disappearing again. Most runs are done in near total darkness, headlights barely cutting through the falling snow. Some drivers run red cab lights to keep their night vision sharp. Others learn to trust the shadows, the muscle memory, the groove of the road. It's part science, part intuition, and part madness. You meet characters out here you wouldn't believe. Guys who've been running the Dalton Highway since the 80s. Rigs held together with duct tape and spite, still clocking 1,000-mile hauls. Women who run solo through the ice fields and don't flinch at the sound of wolves howling near their stop. People who left normal life behind because they found something out here that made more sense. Something honest, something cold, cruel, but real. And then there's the brotherhood. Out in the cold, nobody cares what kind of truck you drive or where you came from. If you break down, someone will stop. Might be 5 minutes, might be 5 hours, but out here, that's the rule. Because every driver knows that next time, it might be them stranded. And when you're 200 miles from the nearest garage, kindness isn't just noble, it's necessary. But make no mistake, this lifestyle isn't for everyone. It's lonely, it's brutal, it will chew you up if you don't respect it. There are drivers who came up here for the thrill and never came back. And there are others, lifers, who've never wanted to leave, who call this snow-covered madness home. Because when you face the worst the world can throw at you and come out the other side, you start to crave it. And maybe that's the real reason they keep doing it. Not the money, not the danger, not even the pride, but the silence, the solitude, the sheer terrifying freedom of driving into the unknown with only your engine, your instincts, and the wind as your co-pilot. It's not a job, it's a calling, one that fewer and fewer people answer each year, but for those who do, it becomes who they are. No one trains for this, no simulator prepares you, no book teaches it. Surviving Alaskan winters behind the wheel isn't a skill, it's a mindset. It's fear, grit, and cold steel wrapped in diesel fumes and snow chains. And yet, they keep rolling through whiteouts, over ice, into storms, because someone has to, and that someone might just be crazy enough to love it.